Walker gives himself the Supernational title. Downtown Jackie Brown dominates the American Racer Cup. We take a look into the rest of the action at Super Dirt Week. Really, Bob? You had to get this guy on camera? Come on, let's get to the show. Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Race Pro Weekly. I'm your host Mike Warren. With everything going on at Super Dirt Week, there was another event taking place down in Afton, New York at the I-88 Speedway, Brett Deyo's Short Track Supernationals 7. The Short Track Supernationals 7 at the I-88 Speedway gonna get started in this one with Mike Mahaney and Chad Cook bringing the field to the green. As they head up into turn number 1 and 2 for the first time, it will be Mike Mahaney with the race lead as they make their way down into turn number 3 and 4. Points leader Andy Bacchetti in the Short Track Super Series looking to make his way up as well here in the early going of this feature event. Cars will be on the move, but they would get together in the back of the field as Matt Jester, the B-Main winner, just sneaking by. Craig Hansen, Darwin Green involved up in turn number 3 and 4. Off of that restart, it would be Mahaney with the lead as Cook tried to make a move to the outside once again as he would look to take the race lead, but Mike Mahaney too strong as we headed towards the closing stages of this feature event. Mahaney would go to the inside, Cook on the outside. Sean Walker trying to make this a race as well as he would make his way to the outside of Mahaney looking for the race lead up into turn number 3 and 4. As they come off the corner, Mahaney would try to hold on, but it would be Walker to the outside with the race lead. He pulled just a front axle ahead of him as they head through turn number 3 and 4. He'd take it outright, and coming through turn number 3 and 4, he would be the winner of the Short Track Supernational 7. Sean Walker grabs the victory. Mike Mahaney would finish in second, Mitch Gibbs third, Tyler Dipple fourth, and Bobby Farron would round out the top 5. Little bit of a family affair up front as Billy Pouch Sr. and Jr. would go at it. Jr. would go around, leaving Billy Pouch to win his first ever race at 5 Mile Point in the Tobias Speedsters. I know that's one happy man, but he'd have some more work to do later in the night as the American Racer Cup would get started in the main event, as leading him to the green would be the 55 of Anthony Perego. Perego would be pressured by Pouch in the early going, and lurking right behind him would be the 6X of Downtown Jackie Brown as he would sit into the number 3 spot. Brown would work to the inside of Pouch, looking to take the number 2 spot away as they'd bang off a turn number 3 and 4, and as they come down the front straightaway, Jackie Brown would be into second, and then he'd use an outside pass on Perego to take the race lead away as they headed through turn number 3 and 4. Brown would have it outright off the corner as he would go on to win the American Racer Cup. Downtown Jackie Brown grabbing the win. Anthony Perego would finish in second, Billy Pouch third, AJ Slideway's Alan Johnson fourth, and Jeff Strunk would round out the top 5. Friday Night Lights at Super Dirt Week 43 would get started with the 358 Modified Twin 20s as the Jersey Jet Brett Hearn will be moving through the field, and that first one would go to the 91 of Billy Decker, the pole sitter for the event. Race number 2 would come out right after that. Stuart Friesen and Ronnie Johnson running for position side by side, but this was all behind the driver out of Hogansburg, New York, the 66X of Kerry Torrance, who would pick up the win.
It was good. The car was fast. We had a little trouble to start there. Ronnie was trying to jump us. I let him go and we restarted and we got a little jump on him, but the lap driver played a big role in that. We had to work for that one.
In the Sportsman Triple Tens for the second year in a row at Friday Night Lights, Brian Crummell will come through and pick up the win in the first one. Mike Butler in the 04 would get the win in the second one, and it would be Lebanon Valley regular Michael Sabia making his way around, and he would pick up the win in the third and final Triple Ten of the night for the Sportsman division.
About as good as you can ask for, first time here and getting the hang of it. I was contemplating whether to, start up front in the heat or go to the back and use it as a practice, but I was close enough up there anyway, and it was good. It's good racing right there.
We move to the big block modified triple 20s as Matt Shepard would get the early advantage as the pole sitter in race number 1 as he would take the FX Caprera car number 9H all the way around the corner, and he would pick up the win easily in the first qualifying event of the night. The second one would come out just shortly right after that with a little bit of a jingle towards the front of the field early. Ryan Godown getting a little out of shape as cars come together. down the front straightaway, but they would keep it clean and green. Billy Dunn going right underneath the 43 of Keith Flack for position down the back straightaway, as it would be the Fox Shock sponsor, car number 20 of Brett Hearn, picking up the win in the second triple 20 of the evening.
The car's fantastic, especially in clean air. That makes a big difference, but I think it's about as good as I'm going to get it. Now it's just a matter of coming up with a strategy that can win that race on Sunday.
We move on to triple 20 number 3 as cars would get together in the early going about midway through the pack, as one car getting to the outside wall, as that would slow the field down. Stuart Friesen having to change a right rear tire on the Jeff Daly & Sons car number 44 machine, as he would have to get back out there and make up a lot of ground. The car on the move, the Reifenberg Construction car number 57 of Donnie Corellis, who finished with a great run in the Friday Night Lights event, as Stuart Friesen would work his way back up through the field in that number 44 machine, all the way back up to a top 10 finish, giving him the best possible starting spot he could get for these triple 20s, as the third one would go to the HBR car of the 98H of Jimmy Phelps. There's only one place in the Capital Region for you to get the full racing action. Stop down at the Bobco video booth at the track or call 518-399-0937. Bobco Racing Video, the next best thing to being there. Performance, quality, service. That's DMC Racing Products. Hundreds of name brand parts, competitive prices. That's DMC. DMC Racing Products, race to win. The early part of Super Dirt Week, as all the campers getting ready to file into the Moody Mile for a week-long set of fun on the infield, and the cars were getting ready as well on the first day of Super Dirt Week, getting ready to head through inspection, and of course, Deegan's always happy, nothing wrong there. Cars all getting lined up to head through inspection as dirt, making sure everybody's on a level playing field, whether it be in a modified machine, as you see them lined up, a couple cars going through, as people having their backup cars checked, Pro Stocks in there as well. Got to make sure the tires are okay. As inspection day, always a long process, but the beginning of a fun week at the Moody Mile, like it always is, as many drivers getting prepared for their first run on the Syracuse Oval for the week. Of course, that will shift gears into the media luncheon as well, as Pastor Ed Harkins giving a prayer, the Lifetime Achievement Super Dirt Week Award heading to the Patrick family here this year for Gator Racing News, the Buzzy Rudiman Award, that is, as that was given out to the media luncheon, which is always my favorite part of Super Dirt Week. That's for sure, because, hey, I can't turn down food. The Dirt Motorsports Hall of Fame and Classic Car Museum, located on the grounds of Wheat Sports Speedway, is like a walk back in time for any race fan. Started in 1992, the hall brings the rich history of local racing to life for the young and old alike.
The museum came about with Glenn Donnelly, myself, and we were into classic cars. And we were going to buy classic cars for the museum and sell them. And then, in fact, Gary Spade suggested, look, we're in the race car business. Why don't we do the race cars too? It was a good idea, by the way, so we started with half classic cars. As far as the race cars, we started recruiting them.
This is a trip back in history. These are pioneers of our sport. Back when you took something from a junkyard, made a race car out of it.
Exhibits are changed periodically to give a fresh new look to the hall. Several new cars are coming in very shortly, so big things are on the horizon. There is also a classic car museum, which is a part of the experience here.
Most of the classic cars here are donated by the public that let you take a see what the history of automotive industry has been through in the last 10 well, from the beginning actually. We got newer stuff, older stuff, what people have done to change things, so the public can come in here and see what things are.
The hall has something for everyone, young and old alike. You can buy a souvenir in the gift shop or even watch classic races in the Jack Burgess Theater.
This is an open house. This museum is for the public for the people, for the racers, and not for any individual. And that's the way Glenn Donnelly wanted it.
So if you are ever in Central New York and want to remember the heyday of racing, check out the Dirt Motorsports Hall of Fame and Classic Car Museum. The Hurricane 100 with the Jersey Jet Brett Hearn and Ryan Soucies leading the field to the green as they headed up into turn number 1 and 2 at the D-shaped Dirt Demon. Cars on the move early, the 27J of Danny Johnson and the 99J of Jimmy Phelps on the move as they would make their way up into turn number 1 and 2 to try to gain some positions in the early going. Mike Mahaney and Mike Bowman would come together in turn number 3 and 4, collecting Chad Brockman and the 21K of Randy Chrysler. And off the restart, Danny Johnson would use exactly what he needed to do to move to the inside and take that number 2 spot away from Soucies in turn number 2. Meanwhile, Timmy McCready and Kerry Terrence would be making their way up to the front of the field as well as a 3-wide battle off at turn number 2 between them and Soucies down the back straightaway. Caution would then come out for the 25 of Eric Rudolph, which would put the doctor on the back bumper of Brett Hearn. Hearn would lead him down the front straightaway and open up the gap a little bit. Alan Johnson would be on the move as well as cars trying to chase down the top 2 as Brett Hearn continued to pace the field in this one, and that would be all she wrote as the Jersey Jet picked up the win at Brewerton.
You know, I knew Danny was there for a long time, but I also knew I had him covered at the restart, so I just wanted to get the single file and just keep on hitting my marks and just keep on doing what I was doing the whole race. And the car stayed really good for the entire race, and I've had a lot of races here where it's gone away on me, so it's pretty good.
The Jersey Jet picking up the win, Danny Johnson finishing in second, Jimmy Phelps third, Kerry Terrance fourth, and AJ Slideways, Alan Johnson rounding out your top 5. Mod Light feature event would be Derek Wagner picking up the win. He would also be the open winner. Jeff Isabel Sr. would finish in second, Jeff Sykes third. Stock Specs winner Jim Bogut would finish in fourth, and Sterling Miller would finish in fifth. Big Block and 358 modified teams getting together for the time trialing session on Thursday, trying to make their 2 best laps they can possibly get to get a decent starting spot for their championship events, as a number of cars taking time, as you see Jimmy Davis heading down the back straightaway, as they would look to see what they could do to help themselves out a little bit when they got to the big races that would end up in a couple of weeks. And it ended up turning out Matt Shepard grabbing the pole for the big block race and Billy Decker on the pole for the small block feature event.
You know, I knew the car felt really good, but I knew there was a lot of really fast guys behind me that were a lot faster than me in practice. So I really didn't think it was going to hold up, but it just goes to show you how hard we worked on this car and all the guys and made it really good for time trials, and it was a pleasure to drive.
Brand new car. The Gypsum Wholesaler team worked really hard on this car. I know those laps, I told Scott on the radio that I didn't think I left too much out there, so I thought they were both solid.
Of course, along with the qualifying events on Friday, it's time to take a look at the future stars of Super Dirt Week as we get started with the 358 event, as North Country regular Jesse Mueller would move underneath young gun Mike Maresca for position, but this was all behind Chad Jezio, who would pick up the win in the 358 Futures race, which was the first one to kick it off. We then moved to the Sportsman, where a classic battle in the first one would pit Matt Janiak against the 53 of Whitey Slavin. Slavin would make a move to the inside lane in the early going and never look back, as Whitey Slavin, picking up the sponsor from Cedar Peaks, would make his way down the front stretch and pick up the win in the first Sportsman Futures race.
To get a win, get a W out here. Car's pretty fast, handled pretty good. PMC race car, Cedar Peaks. Pretty good time right now.
In race number 2, you would find Brian Crummell looking to make his way into victory lane in the Futures race with his first time here at the Syracuse Mile. He would do it with ease as that number 44 machine would head to victory lane as he would pick up the win in Sportsman Futures race number 2. In the Pro Stock event, it would be Tommy Harkins in the 07 dueling with Randy Kosselman down the back straightaway as the two would go side by side for a number of laps as Kosselman had his best shot as he would go to the inside of Harkins for position and pull dead even with him going up into turn number 1 and 2. It would be the 07 of Harkins, though, keeping the spot. Now Chad Arsenault will get in on it as well, but it wouldn't be enough as it would be Tommy Harkins picking up the win in the 07 machine.
This is the best. This is really the best ever. Yes, very good.
Finally, we finish it off with the Dirt Car Big Block Modified Futures Racing event as a number of cars trying to go to work to pick up the win in this event. Jimmy Davis would make a great run down the back straightaway as he would look to try to hold on to pick up the victory in this one as cars continued to be on the move. Jeremy Corcoran in this as well, but it would be Rex King Jr. picking up the win as one of the Pennsylvania natives would grab it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You know, just to run here at the mile is great for us and our family, our car, the team, everybody, and then being able to get a win here. You know, it's not the big race, but it's a heck of a start for us.
The Choices 301 program takes a multifaceted approach aimed at educating the public about the realities and dangers of what can happen when bad decisions are made inside a motor vehicle. Don't hesitate to designate. If you are a track or series that would like to be highlighted on Race Pro Weekly, email us at show@raceproweekly.com.
Well, something turned around. I mean, I know the C party today let me go through. That was crazy, but you know, we had a really good car, and I could put pressure on Timmy at the end there. Decker was a little quicker than us, and I saw him hiccup a little bit. And I was like, man, this looks like last year, an awful lot like last year. And you know, but I still had a car in between me this time. And when Timmy got nailed in behind him when he ran out, they came apart, and I had to run through the middle. And in the end, I think we had the best car. I really do.
Anything run through your head? Any worries when you find out you're having radio difficulties?
Well, you know, our radios were really intermittent today. I mean, I could hear my spotter most of the day. They couldn't hear me half the time. I don't know. But it all worked out okay. We got to get that fixed for tomorrow, but it all worked out all right. But I got to the lead, and I was like, oh, man, do I have enough gas? And at that point, you know, we had run way harder than we usually do. So I was like, well, whatever it is now. So I'm just listening for the engine, listening for that thing to stumble, and it never did.
Rob, a big win for you out here today.
Oh, huge. You know, we definitely weren't the fastest car. We were right in the top 3 all weekend, but our guys had picked it up quite a bit, so we had to be a little patient there on the start. I knew we were good on the restarts, and once the heat got in the tires there, the car was really hooked up.
Talk about the pass for the win.
I didn't think I'd go higher than Nick Stone because he's known for being on top, but I just stuffed it up there and it stuck.
Timmy, a great run for you out there this afternoon.
Yeah, I can't thank my sponsors enough: Mike Sparta, Trucking, Harrington, Speed and Auto, Bennett Motors, Deyo Pro Car for giving me a good car, my brother, my girlfriend for supporting me, my whole family's behind me, you know. Car ran real good all day, all week.
One big thing that had to help you was all that clean air out there on every caution.
Yeah, I was just trying to mimic what Decker was doing yesterday in the 150. I just watched that all day and trying to do the same thing, you know.
That's all for this week's show. For the latest news, results, and photos, check out Race Pro Weekly online, www.raceproweekly.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So for myself, Matt Knowles, Fast Eddie, Scott Morlock, Amber Chalmers, Dave Del Sandro, and everyone that helps put Race Pro Weekly together, thank you for watching this week's episode, and we'll see you next time.